and welcome to the Motherload. I'm Amy Stober.
I'm Ann Brown.
And today we're going to do a Motherload morsel on sleeping, and specifically toddlers.
Right. You know, the disclaimer is you're going to hate this. Everybody hates the advice. It's not the advice you want to hear because we have no magic pill. So if you are looking on YouTube to find out how to get your kid to sleep, you should watch this, but no, it's not going to end with, so now here's the magic pill. Well, there is a pill, but you shouldn't give it to your children. You could take it yourself.
And the thing is, what works right now, today, might not work in 3 months or 6 months or when they grow a little bit. So this is general advice that you can take for getting your toddlers to bed. And here's the thing I always start with parents with. If your kid is sleeping in your bed every night, or your kid is not in your bed, or your husband carries them back every night, or you start out sleeping with them every night and then you go to your bed, or you sleep with your kids and your husband sleeps downstairs. If that's working for you and that's working for your kid, it's working. Don't change anything.
Unless your husband's sleeping with someone else downstairs.
Well, that might help you too.
Yeah, I mean, not one of your kids. You know, the whole family bed, which came into, well, it's been since time immemorial, the family bed. I mean, we were the ones in current times that came up with a bedroom down the hallway with, you know, an intercom. But I always ask parents when they come to talk to me about what to do with their kids is, where are you on the comfort level with the family bed? And the family bed, to me, doesn't work if one or both of the parents don't like it. And they're just kind of doing it like, fine, get into bed with us. Then that just... You know how it feels?
And it doesn't work if everybody's so worried about it because of everybody else judging them. Their mother-in-laws, their friends, so.
You know what it feels like to be in bed with someone who doesn't want to be in bed with you. Maybe that's just me. You probably don't know.
So
you're so young.
Your boys are grown.
My boys
They
are
don't
grown.
sleep with you anymore.
No, they're in their 30s.
So how did you, when you decided, when it was right for you, which is what we're telling parents, when it's right for you, how did you get the boys out of the bed?
Well, my husband and I came up with something somewhat unconventional, go figure, us. You know how when your kid sleeps in bed with you, it's like an H. There's you,
they're like right in the middle.
And your spouse, and then there's the kid like this.
Right.
So that was happening every night. And what my husband and I started doing is getting into bed and getting closer and closer to each other and kind of squishing the kid in the middle. And he would say, oh, there's no room, I can't stretch out. And we would say, I know, you're getting so big. There's hardly any room. And each night we would just squish him more and more until finally he got out of bed one night. He must have been 3 maybe. He said, that's it. I am never sleeping in bed with you again. We're like, oh, really?
But then he owned it.
But that's what I wanted it to be his decision and that's because my husband and I both were okay with him being in bed. If we were not okay with him being in bed with us, we would have said, our decision is. You know, I don't want anyone to misunderstand and say your kids get to decide the whole thing.
Absolutely.
But if you and your spouse are comfortable with the child in bed and then you want to change it, ideally let the kid make that decision on their own because they've been squished into it. I should trademark that strategy.
The squishing method.
Squish your kid.
Right.
How did you get your kids out of? Are your kids out of your bed?
Well, that's what I was going to say. So my kids are different ages than Ann's. They are 11 and 9, and there are nights when they still sleep with us.
Right.
And here's the thing I want to validate for parents who are tuned in and feel anxious about this. The more parents you talk to, the more you realize how different sleep is at every home, right?
Right.
So don't feel bad about whatever arrangement you're making. What I do try to be really clear about is if I'm going to resent my kid being in bed with me, I don't want to do that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think what you're hearing from Ann and I is family bed is okay if it's okay with both the partners and the kids, and it should be kind of tailored to when different people are ready to move out of the bed or have. And then there's a whole set of parents too, right, who say we never want the kid in the bed, and that's okay too.
That's okay. You know, I think that to wrap this up, what we also want to stress is before you do anything with your kids, have a talk with your partner.
Absolutely.
Because you can't, if you are not 150% committed to what it is you're going to do, it's going to go on forever. When parents say, I can't get my kid out of my bed, it's because they're really not sure how they feel about it, so they go back and forth.
And they haven't talked about it, they haven't made a plan. And that's why kids are getting up at night and kind of coming in and checking in, and then that's what builds resentment. So if you don't want your kid in your bed, there's one tried and true solution, right?
Here it goes. Walk them back, walk them back,
walk them back.
It sounds like we're saying welcome back,
Right.
but we are saying walk them back.
If you don't want your kid in bed, you're going to
Right.
have several tireless nights, but you or your spouse or your
That's
partner
right.
is going to have to just walk your child back and gently put them back in bed and just kind of displace them back to where they need to
That's
be.
right, because it's just, and you will lose faith like the fourth time.
Right.
But we promise you that just doing it.
Consistency.
Thank you very much for joining us for another Motherload morsel. And we want to remind you one last very important thing. Don't parent like my co-host.